650 BC. Huh? Rebuild Babylon. Oh, nigga. Okay, y'all go look up this right here. Go look it up. Go look it up. Oh my. I'm gonna have to do something like rebuild Babylon. What the fuck? Okay. Eris, God of War. Bitch, I am my money. Abusing child sexually. Abusing child sexually. Expansion. Shit, you wiping the backseat of my bedroom foreign car. Whatever. You want it. Once upon a time, I heard. What's up? I was down not long ago. I heard you was alone. I fucking heard. I heard that I was ugly. Oh, this Cardi B. Up in this. Once upon a time, I heard that I was ugly. That came to the nigga wanna to me. It's up and it's up and it's up and it's up. It's up. Texas. The show don't say Texas. Then you just call her shine. Blue Flame. Mantis Energy. Purple Flame. Gift to mankind. That makes sense. Oh.
Later, as he was heading back to and Egypt, King Esarhaddon was born in the Neo-Assyrian Royal Library of Ashurbanipal, which has been referred to as the most precious source of historical material.
This YouTube channel is called History Explained.
In the world.
The cruelest king of Assyria,
whose name means Ashur has made another son, was born in the Neo-Assyrian capital of Nineveh in 685 BC.
I just posted a video talking about Nineveh. No, Lord, I don't want to go to Nineveh. I got chills. This is scary.
Descended from the Sargonid dynasty, founded by his great-grandfather, Sargon II, after he usurped the Assyrian throne in 722 BC. Ashurbanipal's grandfather, Sennacherib, and father, Esarhaddon, were both very successful rulers who had helped form the largest empire in history up to that point. Upon conquering Egypt in 671 BC, Ashurbanipal's father became the first ruler in history to control both Mesopotamia and Egypt. King Esarhaddon suffered from a severe skin disease and died only 2 years later as he was heading back to Egypt to put down the rebellion. Despite being his father's fourth son, Ashurbanipal was appointed heir to the majority of the Assyrian Empire and rightfully claimed the title King of the Universe. His first goal as
What?
ruler was to mobilize an army to crush the rebellion that his father had planned to end in Egypt. Ashurbanipal defeated the rebels with ease and campaigned as far south as Thebes. The city of Thebes was so thoroughly sacked that its destruction is used in the Hebrew Bible as an example of the devastation that could be to crush the rebellion that his father had planned to end the universe. His first goal as ruler was to mobilize an army to crush the rebellion that his father had planned to end in Egypt. Ashurbanipal defeated the rebels with ease and campaigned as far south as Thebes. The city of Thebes was so thoroughly sacked that its destruction is used in the Hebrew Bible as an example of the devastation that can befall a city. By 665 BC, Egypt was once again under the complete control of the Assyrian Empire. Ashurbanipal appointed an Egyptian prince named Psamtik as pharaoh. The prince had been captured several years earlier and forcibly re-educated as an Assyrian puppet ruler. Shortly after installing Psamtik as pharaoh of Egypt, Ashurbanipal turned his attention to a new threat on the other side of his empire. The kingdom of Elam, led by King Ertak, had taken advantage of Ashurbanipal's prolonged absence in western Assyria by invading Babylonia in 665 BC. The surprise attack was easily repelled by the Assyrians, and King Ertak died shortly thereafter.
I was just talking about the Prince of Persia too.
Ashurbanipal's brother, Shamash-shum-ukin, grew tired of his inferior position as king of Babylon and began conspiring against his brother. Unbeknownst to Ashurbanipal, his brother had been sending secret aid to Elam in an effort to destabilize his rule. Ashurbanipal eventually launched a devastating attack on Elam in 653 BC, which culminated in the Battle of Ulai near the Elamite capital of Susa. There, Ashurbanipal won a decisive victory over the Elamite kingdom. The king described his victory by saying, "With the encouragement of Ashur and Ishtar, I killed them. I cut off their heads before one another. I dammed up the Ulai River with the bodies of the warriors and people of Elam. For 3 days I made that stream flow full of bodies instead of water. Like the onset of a terrible hurricane, I overwhelmed Elam in its entirety. I cut off the head of Teoman, their king, the haughty one who plotted evil. Countless of his warriors I slew. With my hands I seized his fighters. With their corpses I filled the plain. Their blood I let run down the land. Its water I dyed red like wool." In this relief sculpture, Ashurbanipal and his queen can be seen dining in Nineveh as the severed head of King Teoman hangs from a tree on the left. Thus, by the end of the 650s BC, Ashurbanipal had succeeded in expanding the Assyrian Empire to the greatest extent it would ever reach. These palace reliefs found in Nineveh, called the Lion Hunt of Ashurbanipal, showed the king taking part in the Assyrian royal tradition of hunting lions. Lions were viewed as menaces for centuries, and these hunts were symbolic of the king's ability to protect the Assyrian people from its enemies.
That is symbolic to killing the woman pharaoh. Because women ran shit. And ultimately, we still do. It's that primordial feminine energy. And that's why, the Sphinx was what it was. It still is. It's a black woman. And that's why they cut the fucking nose off. Right? Right. They have whitewashed everything, and it's hard not to say anything about it. It's hard not to fucking call it out. It's hard not to see past it when you can clearly see through that shit. Oh, it's not supposed to be a veil anymore.
In Ashurbanipal and his brother Shamash-shum-ukin eventually led to a civil war in 652 BC. Shamash-shum-ukin was greatly outmatched and outnumbered from the beginning of the war, but managed to sustain his cause for several years by seeking alliances amongst his brother's enemies. In reference to the situation with his brother, Ashurbanipal said, "In these days, Shamash-shum-ukin, the faithless brother of mine, whom I had treated well and had set up as king of Babylon, every imaginable thing that kingship calls for, I made and gave him. Soldiers, horses, chariots. I equipped and put into his hands cities, fields, plantations, together with the people who live therein. I gave him
Slavery.
in larger numbers than my father had ordered, but he forgot this kindness I had shown him and planned evil. Outwardly, with his lips, he was speaking fair words, while inwardly his heart was designing murder." Despite building a notable coalition, Shamash-shum-ukin's cause was futile, as his brother's armies laid siege to most Babylonian cities, including Babylon itself, which eventually fell in 648 BC. It is believed that Shamash-shum-ukin and his family either set themselves on fire in order to escape captivity, or were burned alive by the attacking Assyrian soldiers. Ashurbanipal describes his victory over his brother and his allies by saying, "The gods who march before me, slaying my foes, cast Shamash-shum-ukin, my hostile brother, into the burning flames of a conflagration and destroyed him. As for the people who hatched these plans for my hostile brother and did evil, but who were afraid of death and valued their lives highly, they did not cast themselves into the fire with Shamash-shum-ukin, their lord. Not one sinner slipped through my hands. The chariots, coaches, palanquins, his concubines."
And this is the fucking problem too with fucking, fucked up law enforcement, fucked up judges and caseworkers, motherfucking people in your family, fucking strangers you don't even fucking know. Like, you are not God to condemn anybody to death. Like, even when I was younger, I never believed in the death sentence. What the fuck just happened? The way I feel is not the way my fucking face look right now. So what the fuck? It's weird. That threw me off. So I never believed in the death sentence, and I still, some things happen and it's God's plan. But a lot of people, they They do not be talking to God. They do not be talking to God. But then they be teaching us to have patience and do all this and follow these rules and you be okay. Just controlling shit. Like, mm-mm.
The goods of his palace, they brought it all before me. As for those men and their vulgar mouths who uttered vulgarity against Asher, my god, and plotted evil against me, I slit their tongues and brought them low. Their dismembered bodies I fed to the dogs, swine, wolves, and eagles, to the birds of heaven and the fish of the deep. With his brother gone and the civil war over, Ashurbanipal decided to punish the Elamite kingdom for all their sins against the Assyrian people by besieging the Elamite capital of Susa, massacring all of its inhabitants and leaving it in ruins. Ashurbanipal describes his victory as follows: Susa, the great holy city, abode of their gods, seat of their mysteries, I conquered. I entered its palaces. I opened their treasures, where silver and gold, goods and wealth were amassed. I destroyed the ziggurat of Susa. I smashed its shining copper horns. I reduced the temples of Elam to naught. Their gods and goddesses I scattered to the winds. The tombs of their ancient and recent kings I devastated and exposed to the sun. I carried away their bones toward the land of...
See? Defamating, decimation of the pharaohs, the kings and queens, our ancestors, and they still doing that shit to today. But yet they won't give us fucking credibility. They won't stop fucking lying. Even now today, they know the Egyptians were black. And still are black. Fuck.
Asher. I devastated the provinces of Elam and on them.
So how are we supposed to feel walking around every day knowing y'all still destroying our ancestors' tombs and things and got our artifacts up in museums? If we go and fucking dig up your grandma, your mama, your uncle, your whoever, your daughter, your son, and did the same shit that y'all do to our ancestors' tombs, how would y'all feel? I'm gonna need all races to think about that. And then the tree thing, it's always a tree thing because they know we were here way before them. Plants were here first. Our ancestors are the fucking force that they fucking talk about. That we should fucking that motherfucker that goddamn ignorant fool said, the guy from Russia. He said something about, oh, we need to trim and till our garden. For one, it's always been a forest. Y'all wanted to make shit prim and proper and call it untamed when it was never that. It was natural. Something new to y'all. And thank you for the ones that do stand up and fucking speak out against the and tell on the people that are in the fucking wrong. Thank you for that. Even though I don't believe people should take accountability for other people's stupidity, they should be accountable for their own, in which they are. They are, and they will be, and have been. But this is the end, and what they want to call it. Yellowstone right now is showing signs of waking up. One for the books. This is gonna be one for the books. I got chills too.
Lands I sowed salt. This relief sculpture shows the humiliated king of Elam, Humban Haltash, being forced to serve food at the royal court in Nineveh. Ashurbanipal enjoyed torturing defeated kings and is said to have once put a chain through the jaw of a king and forced him to live the rest of his life in a dog kennel. Ashurbanipal decided against appointing any puppet kings in Elam and made no attempt to incorporate the region into his empire, instead leaving it empty and undefended. Choosing to ignore Elam proved to be a fatal mistake because the Medians would go on to migrate into the abandoned region, rebuild the destroyed cities, and play an instrumental role in the eventual downfall of the Assyrian Empire. The second conquest of Elam in the mid-640s BC was the final major military campaign of Ashurbanipal's life. He had been at war for nearly 25 years by that point, quelling rebellions in Egypt, Anatolia, and Babylonia, as well as conquering the kingdom of Elam. With his massive empire finally at peace, Ashurbanipal was free to turn his attention to more scholarly pursuits. He constructed the world's first systematically organized library called the Royal Library of Ashurbanipal, or sometimes referred to as the Library at Nineveh. Ashurbanipal was obsessed with ancient tablets and wanted to own a copy of
Hey, you know what's funny too? I said that motherfucker sound like Pythagoras too. Like, just some straight out old hateful fucking wanting to bind the primordial energy type. Wanting to discard women. That's when they fucking switch everything to be masculine. There was no order after that. That's why things have been in fucking chaos.
Text that was ever written. He commanded hundreds of scribes to search for texts across the known world and make copies for his library. The king described his motivation for constructing his library by saying, "I, Ashurbanipal, king of the universe, on whom the gods have bestowed intelligence, I have placed these tablets for the future in the library at Nineveh for my life and for the well-being of my soul, to sustain the foundations of my royal name." Ashurbanipal himself.
And what do they call that? When they had, it's like handed down the ways of how they do shit to keep people enslaved, entrapped in a fucking mental prison, physical prison, or spiritual prison. Just pretty much amplifying of the confirmation of the clones, the chips, the fucking towers, the war, and it's always a silent cry and a silent fucking enslavement, and indefinitely of black people. It's like you don't see nobody. Black people being in the fucking war this whole fucking time with our own people and with other people. That shit ain't really televised like that. Like, oh, send money to this organization to help us. No. But as soon as I get some shit together, motherfuckers won't tear me down. And see, that's the motherfucking problem. That's where they fucked up at. The ending and the beginning. The ending of the beginning. The beginning of the ending. The death and the rebirth. The fucking tower. I am the tower came out. Yes. And for divine feminists to step up into their power, just as well as the divine masculines to jump into their power. They gonna wanna jump into that shit and keep your dick in your motherfucking pants. You don't want to. I'm telling you right now. That demon, the second prince of hell, y'all don't even know. I'm wondering why God had me struggle so hard. You know, it was not fucking easy. But now I see why I had to struggle like that. Because anything other than that would have been absolutely selling my soul. Absolutely would have been tied to the devil. Having sex for money. You know, showing my body off. Fucking, what else? Settling for less. Just let motherfuckers kick me down when, you know, shit, they see what position I'm in. The fuck? Motherfuckers did that shit with no problem. They did it with no problem at all. No shame. No problem, no shame, no shame, no game. No shame, no shame, no game. They did it. They motherfucking did it. Now I'm glad. That's why I be like, thank you, God. And I don't even be understanding, getting chills. That's why I be like, thank you, God, because I be mad sometimes. I be frustrated. I be sad. I be crying. I be happy sometimes. But when I'm like really going through it, I'm just like, God, why? And now to see this and the reason why I had to struggle so much to like get it out the fucking mud, to understand I was being kept from the fucking devil. There is nothing that I could possibly do to say thank you, God, and my spirit guides and the angels that were sent to me in physical form and in spiritual form. You know, even demons could teach your ass how to fucking defend yourself, how to stop fucking with certain people, how to start calling certain people out. Fuck them. It's just the best way you can show your gratitude in your celebration. Stop it. In your celebration is to keep striving hard, keep working hard, do the best that you fucking can in the right way. God got you every time. All the time, even though you may feel like giving up, don't. Don't. At the end of the day, it'll be fucking worth it. I can't even like describe a lot of the shit I was going through. It was just being in hermit mode is just like, it's a whole nother realm. It's a whole nother way. People don't understand it. It ain't meant for them to understand. It's meant for you and God to understand, your ancestors, your spirit guides, your angels, and your spirit team to understand. It ain't meant for nobody else to understand. I need to sleepy now.
A voracious reader of the texts within his library, and many of the surviving tablets bear his royal mark, indicating that he had read or consulted them personally. Ashurbanipal had been trained in the scribal arts before becoming heir to the throne, and this made him feel far superior to previous kings. He boasted of his unique abilities and great intelligence, saying, "I studied the secret lore of the entire scribal craft. I know the celestial and terrestrial portents. I can
of the tribal craft. You know what they just showed me? They just showed me that they found a black humanoid in a spaceship with hieroglyphics. Her and a great alien. Like they've been stealing, and I have read everything, and I know it all, and this is how it's gonna be, and that's what I'm saying. That vindictive ass controlling bullshit. Fuck that shit. You got free will. God even gave you free will. So what another motherfucker look like fucking with your free will? If you don't want to do it, you just don't want to do it. That's why I'm like, I walked away from so much, no matter how bad it fucking hurt, man. Or God just made it right. You know what I mean? Like, but it's so crazy. It gets to the point where shit, when somebody disrespects you, you gotta fucking leave. God gonna fuck some shit up. I ain't lying. God gonna fuck some shit up. Real shit. God gonna fuck some shit up. You gotta get the fuck out of the way so that shit don't hit your ass. So trust me, I be trying to save a motherfucker from fucking with me, and I was just saying it the other day. I don't know why. Why do it look like I am the one that by everybody always picking on me? Um, fucking the little rascals, and I'm just like. They think because I've came on, YouTube and told these stories, and I tell people in real life time, like, this is what's going on, confidential, you know what I'm saying? Da, da, da. But then it'd be like a test too. Test for me, test for them. It's just like, shut the fuck up. They don't give a fuck. I don't really know. They don't really care about this. They don't. They give a fuck. Mm. And then they want to sit there and try that bullshit. And this is the cold thing about it. They want to try to put the mental card on your ass, like your ass crazy. Don't let them do that shit to you. Let me tell you right now. Don't let them, because they gonna try it.